What is up with it, y'all? It's Coffee. Back talking NFL, man, and going into the playoffs here. Week 17, 18, the playoff picture all coming together. Some spots still open, some spots clinched up. But I tell you, man, I think the Fins fans, Fins Nation, whatever the fuck they call themselves, are nervous, man. You know, they put together a good season, right? But as we know, the Buffalo Bills have a history of just spoiling things for the Dolphins fans, right? Like last year, they got an early W against us, and then rematch, we got them. Playoffs, we eliminated them. Let's not forget a few years back when, Fitzpatrick's last year with the Fins. Was that Tua's first year? I can't recall, man, where Tua and Fitz were going back and forth with the starting job and all that. And, I want to say, did they win 10 games? I can't recall exactly, but we all know what happened. Week 17, even with them having a top-ranked defense, it came down to them just getting a win against the Buffalo Bills benched, and they got blown out, eliminated from the playoffs. And there's been some other spoiled Dolphins fans' dreams by the Buffalo Bills, if I recall correctly, over the past few seasons. Hit the comments and let me know what y'all think. But today, they got smitted by the Ravens, just annihilated, exposed in the worst way on both sides of the ball, just blown out by the Ravens. And I mean, obviously, the Ravens, I think they got the number one seed still in the AFC East, a top team in the conference, having a great season. But that's what the Dolphins and Fins Nation has, tried to claim that their squad is, as more and more as the season has went along. Even though the Dolphins have a good record, more and more they've been barely squeaking these games out. And last week was labeled the Fraud Bowl between the Dolphins and the Cowboys, two teams that not always, but have more recently, as I was speaking of, with the Bills just smashing their dreams year after year. The Fins and the Cowboys are two teams that throughout the season seem to have some promise in some, possible contender-like properties about them. And then just as the season goes along, you know what I mean? And today, after just squeaking out that win in the Fraud Bowl last week, an ugly game against the Cowboys, where it looked like both teams just wanted to give the game away and couldn't really do ish, couldn't really string together consistent drives or anything like that, and barely squeaked out the W. They go out there against the top conference team and just get humiliated, embarrassed, don't even look like they should be on the same playing field. And that loss brought the Buffalo Bills within the one game of the Fins within the standings, which, with that shellacking the Buffalo Bills gave the Fins early on in the season, that gives this next week game, which shout out to my guy Juan, who is a Cowboys fan, a Fins fan, who I tap in with here on this blogosphere, this YouTube-ish, when we like to talk football. And he's cool. I'm not trying to bust his balls like I'm busting a lot of the other Fins Nation balls on here, pause. But last year, the year before, so many teams just in fan bases want to see the Buffalo Bills fall and troll us in the worst way. But, as the season goes along, and now with us being in one win of the Dolphins, next week is for the AFC East crown. And I know the Fins fans are nervous because, as I've been talking about, them declining as the season goes along and the Bills having a big part of crushing their dreams, seems like history is repeating itself. But with that win in the Fraud Bowl last week, they did clinch a playoff spot. So it's pretty wild right now. The Fins clinched a playoff spot. Next week we're going to go out there, handle our candle, and win the division in Miami. Because as we know, home field advantage doesn't really mean much to the Dolphins unless it's early on in the season when it's hot as fuck out, and that rigged ass design where the visiting bench is directly in the sunlight to drain them of energy and stuff like that. You know, when the later months of the season comes along, it's not the same home field advantage. And, you know, I'm totally confident that the Buffalo Bills are going to go out there and get that W once again and win the division, which is rightfully ours. And the AFC East will continue to run through Buffalo. But I will say it is wild, man, as you see me showing these clips of this Seahawks game. The Bills, the Dolphins, even as, you know, they're falling apart late in the season, have already clinched a playoff berth. My Buffalo Bills, as you know, with all those injuries and the issue that was going on with the offensive coordinator, which once we dumped him, we totally turned the season around and put all those struggles behind us and have got back to business, even though today wasn't the prettiest win. I still like what I saw from us out there. Rasul Douglas coming up big with multiple picks. Diggs doing his thing. How about Kincaid turning up? Josh, 2 rushing touchdowns. I refuse to call it the tush push pause. Fluck out of here with that. But I liked it. I even saw Diggs get a handoff. It was pretty interesting. With the Bills win today and a Steelers loss to the Seahawks, but as you see, the Seahawks lost that game. The Steelers won, so they're still alive, and the Seahawks are alive in the NFC playoff picture going in to week 18. I still hate the fact that they added that extra week, man. Just nothing but corporate greed, as 16 games was perfect for a lot of reasons as far as with the scheduling, 8 games home, 8 games away, the formula, the way they do the scheduling with the out-of-conference games and in-conference games and divisional games and stuff like that. It all worked out perfect. Adding a 17th game and having 18 weeks to the season just really made no sense, especially with all the injury stuff and, you know, how long a season is physically for these players and playoff safety. It made no sense, and I think it's stupid. Comment and let me know if you agree with that. But the Seahawks lost the Chiefs-Bengals game, which the Bills would have also needed to clinch a playoff spot. As I'm bringing you guys this, the game probably is over, but I didn't check the score again before I did my commentary. But the Chiefs were up, and I'm pretty sure they were going to win the game. But I don't know. Going into the final week, Bills Dolphins for the AFC East. Again, like me and shout out to my guy Juan Vega once again. We're predicting it was looking like, and you know, a lot of Bills Mafia has been telling fans that, you know, that's what it looked like it was going to come down to. And, you know, we've been telling the Fins fans, even as cocky as they are, like, hey, don't lose those games as we get our ish together and overcome the different stuff that we've been having going on, and we find our groove late in the season, and you guys are finding ways to fall apart and lose games. Don't let that, you know, last game be for that for the division, but not for the playoff spot, as, you know, the Fins have locked up their playoff spot. Bills, you know, still fighting for one that I'm confident we'll get. And if I'm not mistaken, we could come out the number 2 seed if we win the division, or the number 3 seed. I know we own the tiebreaker over the Chiefs, but nonetheless, you know, we're not getting that bye week, which last year, man, you know, I still say it was such a, you know, shame. Again, it's a great thing that Damar Hamlin's okay, and I'm not trying to complain about how that situation went down, but it just really sucked that, you know, we had that number 1 seed wrapped up and we're going to get that big bye going into the playoffs, and we didn't, you know. But I don't know, just wanted to come on here and ramble a bit, talk about how my Bills continue to look good, Fins falling apart, division championship game next week. You know, playoff picture not altogether clear. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Anyone who watches this video, whether you're a Dolphins fan, Bills fan, or any other team, comment who your team is. Are you in the playoffs? Are you not in the playoffs? Let's talk about it all. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. It's Coffee, talking music, news, sports, and more. And once again, those that watch the channel and rock with me, pay attention to the community posts. I haven't been uploading like I used to. I'm going to get back to it real soon, but you got to watch the community posts to catch everything. So I'm gone. Subscribe, like the video. Go Bills. Have a great day.